Rakeem Allen. So weird. Like this, his didn't print together on the docket. This one. Good morning. Are you Rakeem Allen? And Mr. Allen, this is your initial appearance in cause number 25, DCCR 1163. You're charged with the third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle.
All right out of the gate, this case gets serious. Evading arrest with a vehicle isn't just running away from police. It's considered a third-degree felony, which can carry years behind bars. And the fact that this happened during a police chase, that immediately raises the stakes in court.
From June 7th of 2025. And then in cause number 25, DCCR 1164, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, and that's also from June 7th of 2025. Since you've made your bond in your cases, have you had an opportunity to try to hire a lawyer? So have you hired someone?
Not fully. He basically my lawyer. I go pay him today.
Who's that? Okay. And are you wearing a drug patch?
No.
Were you ordered to wear one?
I was, but once they changed my bonding company, they professionally didn't tell me about lunch.
So, but the magistrate told you you had to wear one when you got out of jail, right?
No, I'm on 2 different bonds. So I guess the other bond I was on, I had already got done paying them off, so I didn't have to pass for them anymore.
Okay, so you're gonna have to wear one for me, but what first we're gonna do this morning is have you tested to make sure you're clean. Have a seat in the jury box.
Notice what the judge is doing here. Before even moving forward, she wants a drug test confirmation. In many courts, if you're out on bond, staying drug-free isn't optional. It's a condition. One wrong move and the judge can revoke your bond instantly. And trust me, judges take this very seriously.
When did you smoke marijuana last? So here's the thing, you need to tell me the truth, because I'm going to get a quantity amount, not just that you're positive, but I'm going to get how much is in your system. And so I need to know when you smoked it last, so that if I find out next time it's not going down, things are going to be worse. So when did you smoke? When did you smoke last? Day before yesterday. So that's why you weren't wearing your pants.
And there it is, the moment of honesty, or at least partial honesty. The defendant admits he smoked marijuana 2 days before court. That's a risky admission. Why? Because judges can actually track whether drug levels are going down over time. If they're not decreasing, the court assumes the person kept using.
Patch.
No, really, I just, like I said, I'm on 2 different levels. I was already done doing my first one.
Right.
I'm gonna sit on the first bill when I was on. That's what my drug test. I figured since I wasn't paying the bill money anymore, I had to let drug test. They haven't been.
I know that'd be really convenient if you had 2 felonies and you didn't have to wear a drug patch and you could smoke marijuana 2 days before court. That'd be pretty convenient, wouldn't it? So you're going to have a drug patch today within 24 hours. I know the first one will be positive, obviously. If the next one is not going down, then your bonds in each of your cases will be raised and you will be back in custody. No questions asked. Do you understand? So you have 24 hours. I want you to get confirmation of that to your bondsman. Even though you've paid your bondsman, they're still your bondsman. They're still going to give you, just because you paid them off doesn't mean they're not your bondsman anymore. Okay, so even if you pay off the other one, you're still out on bond. You're still required to keep in touch with them. They're the ones that'll help you figure out when your court days and all of that stuff. So don't stop communicating with them, because even though you've paid them, they can get off your bond and you can go back to jail. So keep up with everything you're supposed to. I want proof to them by tomorrow or this afternoon that you have the drug patch. You need to make sure it's switched every 2 weeks like it's supposed to. Wear it properly. There's no going in and saying, well, it fell off, and none of that. Okay. Well, that makes me more concerned about your decision making if you were doing well and then you decided right before court to go smoke, right? Okay. Step in front of the clerk. She's going to give you a reset notice. You need to get a lawyer hired as well before that next court date.
Fine.
Oh, sir. That's not appropriate. First of all, pull them up. I know. Well, nobody wants to see your underwear. Not in court and not anywhere does anybody ever want to see your underwear, right? And you need to wear something nicer when you're coming to court.
Now, this moment might sound funny, but courtroom etiquette is a real thing. Judges expect respect, not just in behavior, but in appearance. Showing up with sagging pants or inappropriate clothing can actually affect how seriously the judge takes you. First impressions matter, especially in court.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've emailed the attachment to you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Are you Michaela Markell? And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
She will, Your Honor.
Let me get to it. Ms. Markell, in cause number 25, DCCR 0528, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of theft of property from May 28th of 2022, continuing through June 4th of 2022. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with? I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as Exhibit Number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Rojas? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 5-year deferred probation. There would be $4,492.45 to be paid back in restitution, and you would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Is that your understanding? Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Ms. Markell is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
And any reason not to waive?
She's never been arrested before, Your Honor. I don't have
Got the
objection
amount.
to waiving.
All right, Ms. Markell, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. I'm going to waive the pre-sentence report. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney and defer all proceedings, place you on probation for 5 years. You're ordered to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. I'm also ordering you pay back the restitution in the amount of $4,492.45. If you do everything that you're supposed to on this probation, this is an excellent opportunity because you are not a convicted felon. You don't have the conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete the probation at the end, the case actually gets dismissed and you'll never have a felony.
This is actually a huge turning point for Michaela. The judge grants deferred probation, which means something very important. If she completes probation successfully, the felony conviction disappears. But there's a catch. One violation, one missed payment, or one bad decision, and she could still end up serving up to 2 years in state jail. So the real question is, will she take this second chance seriously?
Conviction. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court, found guilty of the offense, and sent to the state jail prison for up to 2 years. Do you understand? That's a lot of money to pay back also. 5 years seems like a long time to pay it back, but it'll sneak up on you. And so it is very important to me that you start paying back that money immediately. Even if you pay a little bit a month, it'll add up. What can happen is you can do everything else you're supposed to on your probation. And if we get to the end of the probation period and you have not paid that restitution back, and I make a finding that you could have, you could still get revoked to go to prison after you've done all that probation. Do you understand? All right, I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You just need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation, she's sitting at that desk right there. She's going to call you up when she's ready to go over all of your paperwork. Good luck to you, ma'am.
You've just witnessed a powerful courtroom moment. For more real court drama, legal insights, and shocking verdicts, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Justice doesn't stop here. and neither do we.